Hey guys, this is Corey Nicole for Where's the Buzz TV, and I'm here today with Siddiq Saunderson. How are you?
I'm doing well, Corey. How about yourself?
I'm great. So just tell me, how is your day like starting already? Like, what have you done? What do you have the rest to do today? Like, what's going on?
Word. So I actually started at the USA Shaolin Temple with Shifu Shi Ming, who is RZA's Shifu, doing a martial arts class. So that kind of,
Mhm.
took a lot out of me. It's been a minute. I used to train in martial arts when I was a kid, but it's been a minute since I've done it. So I know my body gonna be feeling crazy tomorrow for the premiere. But yeah, I did that.
Yes.
I had a couple other interviews before and got a couple after this. So, just kind of handling press and revving up to that premiere, which is tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that.
I was just about to say that the premiere does drop tomorrow. So how are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you like when you can't wait for your fans to see like how do you feel?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited, especially because I know all the fans were itching for this new season, and it was supposed to come out last year, but of course we all went through a pandemic and still, are going through it kind of. And so I'm just really excited to finally be able to share something because I know that there's a lot of people that have been hitting me up like, yo, when's the next season? Like really excited about it. And I think I don't really think about that, as much because, for me, my standpoint is really just from a performer and making sure I put out, work that I feel good about. But it's also like now I'm sharing it with so many people that appreciate it and like really are excited about it. And that makes me really excited. So it's around this time that I remember how many people are really like following the show and supporting us and showing mad love. And I'm very, very appreciative of it. And I want to give y'all something to watch.
Exactly. Like, did you expect Wu-Tang and American Saga to be as popular as it became? Like, did you expect as the reviews that you got, like how it's huge now. Like everyone is anticipation is waiting for it.
Right. I absolutely did. I mean, Wu-Tang itself is such an iconic music group, not even just like hip hop, but music group. Their fan base is crazy. Like I don't know that many other rap groups that has a fan base that is so international and worldwide. And you look at somebody and they'll from the outside you like where, and then they're a Wu fan and you like, oh, they really just kind of transcend any sort of box that hip hop and fits into, but they are the culture. They are that, they are like one of the groups that was a part of that, the birth of all of that culture. So yeah, I did. Long story short, I did. I knew it was gonna be lit, and I'm happy that it is lit. I feel extremely blessed to be a part of it.
So growing up in Brooklyn, how did that help you prepare for the role of Dennis?
I think it's just when you're from New York, there's just something that about people being
Mhm.
from New York. I when I first auditioned for the role, I didn't necessarily know that Dennis Coles was Ghostface. I just kind of played it as, somebody from New York under these circumstances. And I think that kind of helped me get the role. But yeah, I mean, there's an attitude that comes with being from New York. There's an awareness of your surroundings. There's just kind of a way that you move through the world when you grow up in, New York and Brooklyn specifically. So I think all of that just kind of helped me with the role.
Are there any other groups that you like other than like Wu-Tang, or like who are your top like five artists? They could be from like New York or from anywhere, but
Groups or single
you can say groups or artists. Doesn't matter.
artists. Um, I would say Stevie Wonder.
Mhm.
I
I've
would
not heard that
say
before. That is a new. That was the first for me. Yes, Stevie Wonder.
word. That's crazy to me. Like I'm like, oh, you got to start there. I feel like I'm gonna start. Yeah, Stevie Wonder. I'm gonna say Tribe Called Quest.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say Erica Badu. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say um, Gregory Porter. He's a jazz musician. I like jazz too. And I don't know. Kate Trinata.
Patronata. I love how diverse like the list is very like it's not mainstream like at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a mainstream type of guy. I never was. I've always been kind of. I listen to like the same. I'll add like a new song in the playlist, but for the most part, like it kind of just depends on the mood that I'm in. But I'll like bump a album that came out like in 2015 and as if it's like something new, and just like go through my day just listening to that or whatever, you know, have old. So that's just kind of how that's how I relate to art in general. I feel like it's not about like what's the newest, hottest thing right now. And especially a lot of the times I'm actually turned off from that. Like if it's something that's getting a lot of attention and everybody's like, oh, you got to listen to this, I probably won't listen to it until like everybody already stopped talking about it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, what do you think was or were like the most challenging scenes that you had to do in season one? What would you say like what was most challenging, or you felt like wow, like I really this is way out of my character, like I really have to, lock in.
Man, I'm trying to remember season one.
I know it was so long. It was so long.
Yeah, it was low key a while ago, 2 years. I remember the scene where I'm like pulling my mom out. I find my mom in the bathtub, passed out. I just remember that being like a real heavy scene. That whole kind of episode for me, because that was my like big episode. It was episode 4, and it was when that had happened, and we had all the flashbacks with Cherie. So it was a lot of love going on, and I robbed Power's family store, and so then I go back to the store. So I was doing a lot of like past, present, and then kind of like into the future moments, and all of them were like just really emotionally taxing. And so I think I would say like that was one of the hardest couple scenes. The hardest episode for me was that one, I think.
Because I truly feel like watching season one, we were able to see who Dennis, like his essence of who he really was when he was interacting with his mother or like with Cherie or even his brothers. And do you feel like that's who he really is, and that he puts on a facade with around his friends or anyone else? Or how do you feel like who Dennis really is as a character?
I don't think it's about putting on a facade. I just think it's about, we all have different roles that we have to play at different times. Like my energy in my house is not the same energy that I put on when I'm, in a train station at 3:00 in the morning, after a night out or something. There's a different way that you got to walk through the world. And I think that it's just, what I had fun with was trying to figure out all the levels of Dennis, and I found that out by speaking to Ghost, himself, hearing stories from other people that were close to him, RZA, and also, really honoring the script and looking at the script and being like, okay, he's here right now, but what if he was here in this scene? Because, that's what keeps things entertaining, I feel like. And that's also what showcases a full human being. Like nobody is one type of energy the entire time. I don't believe that, And so because we get these moments where he's, these moments of like tenderness with Cherie or with his brothers, but then, that made me want to really go hard on the other moments, which I don't think is a facade. I just think that, he's loyal, he's passionate, he's like a fire, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I feel like he might be misunderstood in a way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I understood everything, that he was on season 1. I never thought, I know a lot of the fans were like, yo, Dennis is bugging out every time, blah, 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 blah. But to me, it's like, nah, like the first scene, he shoots up my crib. So obviously I'm gonna feel a type of way about certain things. And also when you have that love and that passion for the people that you do love, when people kind of don't line up with those values, that's when, stuff can go left. And I was always, I never thought that he was bugging out. And I think that that's part of the reason why I had to play this role, because you got to be able to understand the psyche of your character. You got to understand why they think the way they do and go for it, And I think that that's what allowed me to play the role the way that I did.
What do you feel like were some of Dennis's greatest character strengths and weaknesses?
I think one of his greatest character strengths is his loyalty and his ability to make shit happen, to be honest. He rode hard for Divine, he rode hard for Bobby, when Bobby's getting locked up, when Divine gets locked up, like he's taking care of his brothers, he's taking care of his mom. He's like, he got a lot on his plate, but he's so loyal. And so that's why when Bobby started to, hang around with Shaw and all that, like that's what really set him off. And then I would say the weakness would probably be the, going off. So even though I understood the psychology behind it, that kind of those rash decisions that he was, on that quick, energy ready to pop all the time didn't always end him up in like, put him in the best situation that he could be in, essentially. But, come season 2, there's a little bit more thought behind some of his moves. He's not as rash. He has to kind of grow up, and with the baby and having a new life to take care of, there's certain priorities that he has to really like sit and think about.
So do you believe that Dennis, he's gonna step up and do exactly what he needs to do, like for Shuri and his baby? Like, you think he'll become the father that he always wanted?
I mean, y'all gonna have to just watch and
yeah, I'm trying to get any little.
I'm excited. He handles business. He handles his business all the time. He did first season and he had other business, but it's just second season there's just new things that are being introduced. Music and how far he's gonna go into that and getting past his own thoughts and doubts about self. And getting past certain things that may be super quick, like one in the hand is worth two in the bush, but like what if those two in the bush really are way more valuable than this thing that you have right here, than this risk, this risky move you can make right now? Like that kind of thought process, really evolves and grows in this season. So I'm excited for y'all to see that.
Since you had the opportunity to meet the real Ghostface Killer, like what advice was he able to give you in portraying like him in the seasons?
Well, he was like, don't. He's like, they better not make me look corny. We wasn't robbing niggas. We was like, that's immediately what he says. So that's part of the reason why I went so hard the first season. Like every time it was up, and if it's up, like it's just up. So I tried to honor that energy, but also simultaneously, again, allow those moments of joy, of love, of all of that stuff to just be that too, because I didn't want him to come across as just this,
Exactly, because he's giving you like his blessing. Essentially, he's like, you're playing me. Like this is my real life. So yeah, I wonder like how long did it really take you to feel like you were prepared to like be in front of the camera though and really portray him? Like what was your process like in getting ready for the scenes? Like did you study like your lines for a certain amount of hours per day? Did you go to certain places in Brooklyn? Like what did you do?
I think it changed throughout the season, because obviously in the beginning, especially of season, are you asking about season 1 or season 2?
It's gonna be both.
Okay, so season 1, I did all of my because I studied acting in college, and so I had a lot of those tools and skills that I would use as in prepping for any type of character. So I kind of applied those as well. I read the scripts, I looked at what my objectives were, and like how the type of tactics that he uses to get what he wants throughout the scenes. I watched a lot of interviews, early on and I tried to start from the beginning. I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself and get a lot of information that wasn't, accurate to the time period that we were portraying, the year that we were portraying. Because, season 1, I was Dennis. They ain't never said Ghostface Killer really in season 1. And we start to say it in season 2, but it's still very much like Dennis, D-Lover, all that. So in honoring that, I tried to find the earliest interviews. I went to the comic book shop. I picked up some Iron Man comics, read those in my free time. I listened to, I know that Slick Rick was is one of Ghost's favorite MCs. He's one of my favorite MCs. So listening to that, I tried to just open up all of my senses to all the things that he likes and was about, and then try to kind of go from there. And then at some point, I just had to trust that the audience believes me to be who I say that I am, because otherwise it's going to feel like I'm trying to prove something every scene, and then that gets tired and that gets old. So at some point I had to claim it, which I did early on in season 1, and definitely for season 2 it's just like I am who I say I am, and y'all gonna believe it.
I've seen some of your other interviews, and I like was looking through the comments, and it was so funny that you said that because a fan had commented like, "Oh, like he's always so bubbly and so vibrant, always smiling, and it's so different than the character that he plays." And I'm just like, what do you think about that? Like when fans like really get to know interviews and they see this completely different, like parallel from what you play.
I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's flattering. You know, I know that a lot of people who are fans of the show, because they are so like diehard Wu fans, really have this expectation of us to be them. But it's like, bro, you fans of them. You know, I'm an actor. Like you're a Ghostface Killer fan, and now you're a fan of mine because I'm playing him. But you have to respect Siddiq Saunderson is his own entity. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's also part of the reason why I can play such an iconic figure, because I'm an icon myself, you know, and I already know that.
I love that.
So it's just like, you know, it just is what it is. I'm excited. I'm excited for people rocking with me from this, but I have so much more in store. You know what I'm saying? Like I really trained in Shakespeare, in Greek theater, in restoration comedy, in, you know, August Wilson. It's just so much kind of there that this is just, you know, the beginning for me, but I'm really excited to keep surprising the audiences. I play Mercutio in this R#J, this Romeo and Juliet movie that went to Sundance. And, you know, I'm really excited for audience to see that, because they're gonna, you know, be like, what? You know, and that's really that's what I aspire to be. Those actors to me are always, those are my favorite actors, are the people who aren't the ones that kind of give the same type of performance or exist in the same type of world all the time. Even if they're great, you know, you can be really great and exist in the same world or in the same pocket or give that same sort of energy for every performance. But to me, the actors that I really, you know, take my hat off to are the ones who, no matter what world they're existing in, you believe that they're supposed to be there. And that's the actor that I aspire to be, and I think that's the actor that I am.
Is that like the legacy that you kind of like want to leave within the industry, like your mark that I was able to do any and everything that like I essentially like remind you, like what would you want someone to say like about you, like in a sentence, like for your legacy?
For my legacy, I want to be the wild card of Hollywood. I want to be that secret, you know, that secret sauce that you can put on, you know, that you can put on this meal or that meal or whatever type
and
of
it just go and it's
always gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know, I have on my Instagram like the common denominator. I just want to be a part of. I want to be. That's my legacy. I want to be the common denominator. I want all the projects that I am a part of, all the groups, all the communities that I am a part of, to be winning. Because for me, I'm big on ensemble. I'm big on, you know, family and brotherhood, and I think that's why I'm meant to be a part of this Wu family. But I just want to keep being in, you know, keep getting to be a part of larger groups where everybody is winning and everybody's shining. Like that to me is the best. Like I have a lot of friends from college who are really popping off, and even friends from before that, middle school, high school, you know, who are doing their thing in their respective fields, and I'm always kind of celebrating them. But it feels good to know that like I was once a part of this group with you, and I was once a part of this group with you, and everybody's doing their thing. So
I really love that the element of music is like heavily prevalent in the sense that it can truly change your life and bring anyone together, like the families that were created during the seasons. So what do you think the underlying message of music represented in the series, or like that it currently does?
I think
good question. How are you thinking?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I like to speak with intention. I like to you know, not waste words, but I think music is like becomes the main idea for everybody. And it happens at different times, but it's also like this bonding element where everybody kind of takes all their, you know, it's like the Avengers assembling. Like that's what Wu-Tang is like. Everybody got their own style, their own swag, the way that they, you know, their voice cadence is different. Everything, you know, they got these different parts and pieces, but then the music is what brought everybody together. The music is what allowed everybody to kind of put the beefs to the side, to put the, you know, the feuds and the differences and all the animosity and all the tensions, which still existed because you hear it in the music, but that didn't take priority over the music. So I think that that's the message, is like, that they're stronger together, and that, music can be the ticket. The music was the ticket for all of them out of what they were going through at that time.
When you think was the moment that Dennis truly realized that he could be something more, than a drug figure in the game?
You're gonna see in season 2.
Okay. So what do you think the fans are waiting to see in season 2? Like, will all of their questions be answered? Like, give us something. What is
I'm just trying to, because I don't know, like, I don't know what I can or can't say. I can say that the fans should be prepared for, there's still some drug game, there's still that, there's still some hustling going on, but it really turns into the Wu-Tang, music TV show. I think the fans should be excited about some more, imaginative storytelling, imaginative ways to tell a story of sampling a song and how to start with a sample and turn, produce a whole track, getting people on, writing verses, like really getting in the minds of these artistic legends, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's really imaginative this season. First season we had like the video game, we had the animation, like little shit that makes our show, as opposed to whatever other show that's about drugs or whatever. But ours is just different. We got the Wu-Tang style. It's just unlike any other. So I'm really excited for the fans to see us in the studio, watch us perform some of the classic 36 Chambers hits, and just watch us grow.
Like, how would you describe the different energies that you feel like season 1 captured versus season 2?
I think that season 2, again, I think is just more about the music.
Okay.
Season 1 was about the music too, but there was just we laid a lot of groundwork for the character relationships, and there was a lot of, other stories and stuff going on. But this is about, studio time and writing verse. Your verse is not completed, and getting on the mic and getting on the stage and all of it, So I think it's really dope to see, to have season 1 to rest on, and people can go back, and I would, recommend everybody binge that again, just to kind of refresh your memory, because a lot of stuff happens, but there's some really great payoffs in season 2 as far as, relationships and people coming together, and me and Raekwon, our relationship developing, beyond what it was season 1. So it's a lot of things to look forward to, for sure.
I was very impressed with the trailer for season 2. I thought it was insane. I'm like, wow, they are definitely like coming strong this season. And I was just wondering, is there any way that you're planning on interacting with your fans, like through your social media, like once they're able to finally watch the season 2, like when it drops officially on Hulu? Are you planning on going on Instagram Live, or is there anything that you?
Yeah, if that's what the fans want, like
I would do it. Why not?
I can do a live tomorrow. Again, I've been, in the theater my whole life. So this whole social media, film and TV interview, this is all very new for me. And I'm so about the work that all the extra stuff I kind of forget about sometimes, but I will absolutely go live. I do want to communicate with the fans. Also, I've been, I may not respond to everybody's everything, but I am on Instagram a lot. So I see a lot of the fans. So I just want to, take this time to say I appreciate all the love from the fans, all the positivity, all the people that's just been rocking with us, and rocking with me in particular, because, like you said, I am different than this character, but I appreciate people who can appreciate and respect my work, because I put a lot of heart and I put a lot of myself into my work, and no matter what the role is. So thank you. I will go live and maybe do like a Q&A or something. I don't have Twitter, so I can't really live tweet. I might have to get a Twitter. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. So since you are not really heavily prevalent into social media, like what is something else that you think that your fans don't know about you? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably were not aware of that you don't really use.
I mean, I'm on social media, like I'm on Instagram. What else don't people know about me?
Yeah, like what's like an interesting, fun fact or something that they would never guess?
Fun fact is that I am a foodie and I like to cook. I aspired to be a chef.
Is that the way to your heart? Is food like a good meal? Is that the way?
Yeah, I love.
What would be the meal? Describe it.
Right. It's so many different meals. I like a lot of different types of cuisine. Like I went and had some scallops and pasta and, burrata cheese the other night at one of my favorite restaurants. And I eventually am going to have a restaurant myself, which I'm excited about. I know that that is like something that I've been manifesting and planning on. So when that happens, I'll be sure to let everybody know you got to pull up, get some good food, enjoy the vibes, get some good drinks. But it's
Will it be in Brooklyn, or where will it be?
Yeah, I'll do one I'll probably have a couple different locations, but definitely, one in Brooklyn. So, gotta represent for Brooklyn always. Start there.
Where do you see your career in, 3 to 5 years? Like, who have you worked with, and like, what do you want to achieve?
3 to 5 years.
Because you talked about manifestation. I really believe in that as well. I'm a visual. I love vision boards, everything. So like, yeah, what do you see?
I see peace. I see happiness. I see more development within my person. Career-wise, I want to direct some short films and hopefully some full-length feature films. I would love to be in more movies, specifically about, the jazz age, the jazz era. I used to play saxophone when I was a kid, so I would love to have a reason to pick that back up again. Maybe in, an action film, Marvel what up, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, we love
superhero film. I'm into that. I like heist movies. There's a lot of different things that I like. So I kind of see all that happening. I also see beyond that, I'm about to go back to my alma mater, Carnegie Mellon, and do some master classes there. So I would love to eventually, in 3 to 5 years, I want to have a sort of mentorship program, because I had so many mentors throughout my life. I had a lot of teachers who tried to bring me down, but beyond that, I had a lot of mentors who lifted me up and really supported me and taught me some things that I still use to this day. So I would love to be a mentor for, the next generation, or for a young, Black boy from Brooklyn that, may not be getting all the lead roles, or may not be getting into his dream schools or whatever, but just know, if you work really hard and work plus faith, is the recipe for me and has been. And I've done everything that I said that I was going to do, even when people doubted me. So I want to find somebody like a young me and tell them, like, you are worthy and you are capable and you can do it. If you can visualize it in your mind, it means that it was dropped within you for a reason. And the thing that separates everybody is, are you going to just kind of let it sit there, or are you going to act on it? And so I want to inspire people to act on it, because so many people inspire me to continue to go.
What do you believe was the hardest moment in your career that you really had to be like, okay, do I want this bad enough to keep going and to not let anything deter me? Like, what do you think that moment was?
I don't think I ever had, I'm really blessed. I was supposed to be an artist, I didn't that's why this whole, I'm not into the super, super fame and the glitz and the glam of it all, because I just love art. I like going to art museums and just being by myself and, taking in a painting. I like listening to jazz, watching live jazz or a dance performance or dancing myself, or, I love the arts, the act of creating art and experiencing it. So I think that, that is what fuels me, and that's what always has fueled me. So, but repeat your question one more time. I'm sorry, I kind of lost the question.
I was just saying that, like, what was a moment that what was the most challenging?
Right, the moment. Yeah. So for me, because I now went all the way back and I was just thinking about my life as a whole, my head was half full. No, but I don't think it was a moment. I think I just always wanted to do the thing. I always wanted to act. So even when there was a moment where I didn't get into the famed LaGuardia, which is the high school for performing arts in New York, even though there's so many more, and I didn't get in. A bunch of my friends did. I would say that might be a moment, because a bunch of my friends got into that school from my middle school, and I just remember and I was about to go to a Catholic school, even though I'm not Catholic, but it was just where my family went. And then kind of midway through the summer, I had already purchased my uniforms and everything, but midway through the summer, I was just like, I need to go to this other school that I got into for acting. And that kind of kept me on my journey, because I was just like, I can't go to a school that doesn't have any sort of theater program. Like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. What is my purpose going to be? So I always knew that, and nothing ever kind of like challenged it. But there were moments where I was like about to kind of get off the track, but I always, you know, pull myself back on, and was supported by my family.
So since that you don't really, okay, so I mean, you use social media, but you said that you're not, you know, like you're not like super into it, but like, who are some of the people that you follow like on social media? Like what is the best way for fans to possibly try to interact with you as much as possible?
I mean, just hit the DMs. And
really? Okay, so you'd answer. You go through DMs often?
Yeah, if it's something more substance, you know, like I'm a substance guy, like, you know, hey baby, or it's not always gonna catch my attention. But there have been a couple that caught my attention, and you know, but people who want to have conversation, and again, I'm all about and connect to the fans, because I do I want them to ask questions, but I also have to, you know, keep up a little bit of barrier, because I got to keep some of my life for myself.
Privacy. Yeah, is that like a very important like values for you, like privacy? Like, how have you been able to manage that within the industry so far? Do you think that it's been fairly easy for you, or does it get challenging at times?
I think it's pretty easy. Like, I mean, the thing that is challenging is I just never had so many people want to know so much about me. So, but it's not that challenging, because I've never been afraid to tell people to just back up out of my space. You know what I'm saying? Like, just chill, you know, like, I think if anything, it's more so when I'm out, like I kind of forget that I'm on the show and I got fans, and I kind of like, I still hang out with my homies from high school, and we go to this, you know, same bars and stuff that we've been going to, but now it's a little bit different. So, there's certain things that I kind of have to remind myself, and certain, like, oh, people recognize me. Oh, there are more eyes on me. Oh, okay, blah, 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 blah. And that affects, you know, the way that I move through things. But it's a blessing, and it comes with the territory. So I can't really complain about it, because I'm really living out my wildest dreams, you know, right now. So
I'm so excited to finally see the premiere of season 2. I binge watched the whole first season this weekend.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yes, I really did. I was like very locked in on your character. I'm like, character development, I'm writing everything down. So yeah, I was able to just, you know, learn a lot about you, and I feel that you do so well like portraying like the character, and you're really genuine, and that's also why I feel like it's fairly easy for you to really be like, this is like who I am in this character, but I'm also all these other things, like you said, like you're so versatile. So I really believe that's amazing, and I know that your fans cannot wait to see it. I believe you're going to be trending on social media, even though you don't really use it.
I'm gonna check Twitter trends. I'm gonna Google Siddiq Saunderson.
Yes. So is there anything else that you would love to, you know, to tell your fans before we conclude this interview?
Just thank you. I just want to say thank you for the support, again, for lifting me up, for the positive vibes and energy. I'm all about, you know, sending out that energy, because, you know, what you send out is what you get back. And so I really appreciate all the fans. Again, even if I don't respond all the time, or I see it, and it fuels me, and it keeps me going, especially when we were filming, you know, after being away so long, thinking about the fans when we were on, you know, I'll give you this. We have an episode that's on a boat, and we were on a boat, and it was freezing. It was the middle of winter. But I think, you know, looking at my Instagram, looking at the people being like, yo, when season 2 coming, when, you know, we excited for it, that fueled me. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Corey Nicole, again, for Where's the Buzz TV with Siddiq Saunderson from Hulu's Wu-Tang and American Saga. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Later.
Where's the buzz? Oh, yeah.
Where is the buzz? You said was mine.